Welcome back, family. You know what I need y'all guys to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, guys. My channel is growing. Despise not small beginnings. You understand? Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Comment, family. I'm trying to get into the YouTube algorithm. YouTube tripping sometime, but I'm going to keep peddling it anyway. Support my channel by going to the Cash App, guys, and donating there. It's $Drummer1980. I do appreciate you in advance. You also can support my channel by clicking on the super thanks located under the video, guys. Donating there as well. And like how I tell each and every one of y'all, I do appreciate you tenfolds over, hands down. I'm proud that you're rocking with me. Well, family, I'm back again. You know my motto already. I don't make believe, I make believers. I'm your gracious host, Drummer 1980. Hailing from the Carolinas, Columbia, South Carolina, if you're looking for me. I hope you had a good day today. If not, you know the old adage, ask yourself why. And remember this, happiness is an inside job. Did you hear me? Let me say that one more time. I said happiness is an inside job, and it will always be an internal affair. Well, guys, we back today again with my man TBA, aka Jason Black, with a good showing here. Him and a caller gonna get into it about a variety of things, but I'm gonna call your attention to the screen and I will comment between clips. All right, let's go.
Let me get caller from area code 803. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 803. You're on live.
Hi, Jason.
Okay, ma'am. You can stop rubbing yourself down. You're on live. What is your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Connie. I'm calling from Columbia, South Carolina.
All right, Connie from Columbia. What is on your mind?
Yes, I actually was told to call in, I guess because I just asked the question, like, I don't know if you're expecting these women to not have had a life when they're meeting and dating. I get that, but that's just going to be hard to find in this day and time. These women are going to have lives. They're going to have experiences. Hopefully they don't have too many experiences. But that's just what, the modern world is going to give the guy. If he's expecting to get a girl that's coming directly from her parents' home, a good church girl, a good girl who hasn't experienced the world, good luck with that. I just don't think that that's realistic.
Okay. Now, to everyone out there who usually says, Jason, let him talk, let him talk. I let her talk. I didn't interrupt what she had to say. I let her express her entire thoughts. So therefore, no one can accuse any of us of taking it out of context. Now, to prove to you all that I listened to what she said, you're looking for women who haven't lived their lives. They haven't had a life. And, they're going to live their lives and they're going to have experiences. You notice how all these folk, from this Iovine woman who wrote these articles to eHarmony, the Bumble, to the woman on the phone now, you notice how they speak in these real vague metaphors and generalities that don't really mean anything. And you're not really describing what the activity is. You're just using these real weird, wacky, way out terms. So when you say we don't want a woman who's lived life or a woman who's had experiences, when you say they've lived in their life, what does that, a woman who's had a life, what does having a life mean?
Listen.
Perhaps she's had a boyfriend.
One boyfriend?
And gotten physical. Yes, she's having a boyfriend. Nobody expects to jump from guy to guy.
Okay, ma'am. How many? Okay, man. You just said one boyfriend. One. Who are the men? And when have I ever expressed that I had a problem with a woman who had one boyfriend? Who said that?
Well, you didn't say that.
Okay, but you just did. But you just did. And you just claimed that that's what I meant. So I made sure I got you to clarify there. One boyfriend, nobody has an issue with one boyfriend. So is that what you're referring to as a chick who's only had one boyfriend? Do we got a problem with that?
Maybe she's had A couple of boyfriends.
Okay, by a couple, do you literally mean a couple, which is two?
2, 3, 4. Maybe she's had 4. I don't know.
Okay, so do you think that we as men have a problem with a woman who has had 4 boyfriends in her entire adult life?
Not 4. No.
Okay,
probably not 4.
Y'all, do you see how we're walking this down? She started by saying, y'all, you don't want a woman who had a life. What's having a life? Oh, she's had a boyfriend. A as in 1. Yeah. You think we have a problem with 1? Well, maybe 2. You think we have a problem with 2? Maybe 4. Ma'am.
Well, you tell me what's the problem number, Jason?
No, ma'am. No.
This woman is clearly from South Carolina, as she stated in the beginning. Ooh, my fellow travelers, let me clear up something. This is not, and I repeat, this is not the representation from the Carolinas that we need. All right? We reject this vehemently. We reject this. All right? Now, as you noticed, when Jason called her out, he said women should be able to experience life, to live their life, etc. Okay, fine. So he said, so how many men or what have, 1. Oh, so you think that we have a problem with the women having 1 boyfriend? No. Okay, so who said that? Well, nobody said it. Well, where did you conjure that up from? You conjure that up from your own mind. Guys, it's one thing you can't do with a woman. You can't argue against something that she conjured up in her mind. You're fighting an uphill battle. It's a losing battle. It's like pissing in the wind. It's blowing all back on you. You won't never get to the gist of the matter. So what you have to do is pin her down. And she admitted that nobody said it. So then he said, well, how many? Well, a couple. He said, or are you talking about 2? Well, no, maybe 3, 4, 5. The goalposts grow legs all the time.
Tell me, what do you think our problem number is?
It depends on her age.
Okay, please answer the question. You said it depends on her age. Give us an example.
So if she's 25. Then if she's had maybe, I say no more than maybe 4 or 5 at 25. 4 or 5 boyfriends that she's been physical with. She's still okay.
If she's 25 and she's had 4 or 5 boyfriends.
Yes.
Okay. That means 1 boyfriend every 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see an issue with that?
Listen.
No, I don't.
So she changes boyfriends with the lunar calendar.
Not the lunar calendar. Silence.
Doesn't that seem like that's a sign of a problem?
I don't think so, Jason.
Okay, whoa. Okay. Now you said you don't see a problem here. Okay, let's not do that.
So I don't.
Okay, let's not do that. Let's not do that. You hear the host talking. Let's not do that. Bad look for you. Now, you just said you did not see a problem. Okay, fine. If a woman was changing her major in college every year, would you see that as a problem?
Well, you only have 4 years total.
Okay, ma'am, that's a yes or a no. No, ma'am, you have the rest of your life. Yes, you have the rest of your life, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, let's not tell that lie. Let's not tell that lie. You have the rest of your life to go to college. So you basically can change majors for the remainder of your days. So let's not tell that lie.
You only get into college once.
No, ma'am, you can go. Ma'am, people go back to school all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but at that time, you're wasting money. So,
okay,
yeah, so
well, assuming, of course, you have the budget to be able to afford that, you can change majors every year. But we wouldn't consider that to be a very stable person now, would we?
I disagree.
So you think that a stable person would change majors every year?
I think life is lifing, especially when it comes to jobs. I mean, you don't even need a college degree right now if you want to do apples to apples and oranges to oranges. I mean,
ma'am, if you had a person who changed jobs every year, ma'am, if you had a person who changed jobs every year, would that, ma'am, we don't talk over the host. That's your second time doing that. I suggest you catch yourself. If you have a person who changes jobs every year, would you consider that to be a problem?
Every year, yes.
But why would that be a problem?
Because they're unstable.
How does that demonstrate instability?
But it's not to say that they can't get.
Okay, how does changing jobs every year indicate instability?
How does it indicate that? Because you're changing and you're never getting grounded in anything.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 51.
Of course you are. How many children do you have?
I have 2.
Of course you do. How many husbands do you have?
I have 1, but I'm getting ready to get married again in February.
If you don't quit. In any case, folks, the reason why I asked that was because I understand something. The lie comes off, the curtain comes off the lies when you ask that question there, because you see, as a female, when they're depending on a man to take care of them, then by definition, a man whose employment is that spotty, that erratic, that unstable, that he can't keep a job more than 12 months. Well, then by definition, that's the definition of instability. So you see, for the things that she depends on in her life, all of a sudden, you men need to step it up. All of a sudden, she's not tolerant of it. But when you asked about her or something that she centers on for herself, well, things can change and life change. And she didn't give the job situation can alter. Yeah, because she would suffer the consequences of a man who cannot keep stable employment. But when it comes to women's instability, sexually, socially, she was given passes right up until I named the one that affects her directly. Then all of a sudden, wait, now that's unstable. There's no difference between the job and the school and your sexual habits. There's no difference. Someone who cannot be grounded over the course of 12 months, they're constantly jumping from one thing to another. They have a pattern that goes on half a decade. You said between 20 and 25 years old. That's half a decade of the only thing they are consistent at is being unstable. Because by definition,
simply put, in a nutshell, family, whenever an employee check your job history and they see that you have jumped to and fro from job to job every year, every 6 months, every year and a half, that's going to tell them a lot about you. That's going to tell them that you're not stable. You don't put roots down anywhere. You haven't laid a foundation anywhere. So they can make a determining factor by simply looking at your job history. The same thing comes to the dating market, because the old saying is what? The past is the best indicator of the future. Can somebody change? Yes. But according to this job history here, though, you're probably going to leave here. So we might not want to put too much stock in you coming here. Same thing with a credit score. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They go look at your credit history, your beacon score, and they go make a determining factor. He can't get the loan. He can't get the house. He can't get the car or what have you, personal loan. Same thing. So whenever I look at a woman dating history and then I see that she done jump from one guy to this guy, from that guy to that guy, from Tom to Jerry, from Jack to Todd. Something isn't clicking. Something isn't gelling. Therefore, I might better not put too much stock into her because she have a pattern of erratic behavior. She's unstable like black matter, if you know what that is. She's unstable, so I might better not take her serious. She might be good for the moment. You see how that works? All right, let's go.
You're supposed to get over that.
And they don't know anything, Jason. They gotta find their way. All of them.
And I'm saying that they have, listening to you, they have found their way. They found their way to Slutville. So yes, they certainly have found their way.
So the guys who do that, the men, the young men
Deflection,
that do the same thing.
Deflection.
Are they
Deflection. This is how you know you're dealing with the old chicks. Deflection. Accountability means that the conversation starts on you and stays on you. Deflection is, well, let's talk about the men's issues. This is why young females can't go to therapists. The older women become therapists. This is why, I'm so glad you called in, Exhibit A. This is why the young females get messed up and never get better. This is what the old females do. It is always deflection, including the ones who pretend to be red pill and give manosphere talking points. They're no different. They think they found a cheat code. So yeah, she's deflecting already. What about the men? No. We're going to stay talking about the women because the only thing that you can control in this world, Connie, is what?
Yourself.
Oh, so that's why we don't deflect. Because
let's put this to bed. What about the men? The men don't have a problem with women calling them whores. You do. Oh, God. I'm in my bag now. A man don't have a problem with you calling him a whore, a Lothario, a player, pimps, whatever, because it don't work the same way. If a man have a harem of women, most of the time, that's going to excite most women because they want to know what the noise is about. God almighty. But if a woman have a lot of men, most men are not going to want you, especially not calling you their own, wifing you up or something. They're not going to want to do that unless he a simp. We all know that. He henpecked. Somebody that don't have many options, yeah, he'll do it. Somebody broke and destitute, yeah, he'll do it. So it don't work the same way with men and women. So stop trying to equate women with men because it don't operate in the same manner. The functions is totally different. And people get so upset and out of their body and have an out-of-body experience simply because it don't work the same. You're not a man. And a man is not a woman. There's certain things men can do. There's certain things women can do. That's just the way of the world. I didn't make the rules. I just play by them, all right?
Definition, you're trying to change the subject to something you have absolutely no control over. So we're going to discuss the thing you do have control over. And Connie, you do have control over whether or not you are erratic and you hop from one man's bed to another every year. As you get older, you're supposed to be becoming more stable in life, aren't you, Connie?
Absolutely, Jason. It takes time for these little flaky little children that we have out here now. They don't get it the first time around. None of them do. The little boys are doing the same thing.
Okay, you're the one who called in saying that Jason has a problem because there are women who have had a life. So that you would be included among people encouraging that. You just said a few moments ago that was having a life. You know, I just said, great, how many men you guys sleep with to have a life? And then she said, well, I think one every year between the ages of 20 and 25, I think that's fine. And that's actually disastrous.
So how do you think it should go? Do you think these little girls should be chased and with all this crap that's on the internet and their little friends. Is that realistic?
Okay, let's try this a different way.
In my humble opinion, yes, they should be chaste. And you should be teaching them to be chaste. You should teach them that their body is something that's not to be used by everybody. I say right here, right now, flat-footed, looking in the camera, yes, they should be chaste. You shouldn't be all willy-nilly with your cooch, talking about live your life. So now they call living your life being whorish, being promiscuous, being lascivious, being all free, that free love jump from the 70s. That's why you lose. That's why you lose. Where I get hot. Well, men have to be disciplined. So should women have to be disciplined? I think both of them should be disciplined, if you really want to know. Because it's a lot that come out of that. A lot of people are careless. Men are careless and women are careless. But we are talking about women right now. So let me keep the focus on the woman. The woman should be chaste and shamefaced. These women show everything God blessed them with. Everything. Every orifice, every crevice. You can see every fat roll, every bump on their butt. You'll see everything. Nothing is left to the imagination any longer. Everything is out for everybody to see. It's an open market. And you wonder why you can't find anybody? You can find somebody, but the person of your liking, the person of your choosing have a different set of standards. But you trying to force the guy that you like to have the same standards as these other guys, and it don't work like that. So you find yourself upset. Men ain't no good. No, just give him what he wants. Simple.
Forget the internet altogether. We're talking about basic female nature. Can a woman have a parade? Does having sex do something to a woman? Does having sex have an impact on a woman's? Does having sex have an impact on a woman's self-esteem, worldview, mental and emotional state?
I would say it does. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. I was waiting for you to try to lie and say it doesn't, because I was about to say Cassie just filed a $30 million lawsuit.
No,
and
not to the
it had an effect on
point
her.
that she can't handle it, and she's nutting up behind it.
No, ma'am.
Not
having sex has an impact on women's mental and emotional state. By definition, it must have an impact on it. You would never sit up here and tell your daughter that she could have sex with as many men as she wants to, and it will not affect her mental and emotional state. You wouldn't say that to her, would you?
Of course not.
Of course. Now, do you all see how certain she is now? Before, she's trying to act like she equivocates, and this is why the young females can't get nothing. The older females are supposed to be this certain when they talk to them. The older females are giving them half answers and misleading. A woman having sex with a man means something, because sex is a submissive act. That is an act where you have to be very trusting. I keep reminding you all, as the woman said in the second season of True Detective, the key difference between the sexes is that one can kill the other with their bare hands.
Right.
You are a woman. A woman is vulnerable when she's having sex. Sexual contact is a state of ultimate vulnerability for a woman, because by definition, there is nothing more vulnerable than you being alone, butt naked in a room with someone twice as big, twice as strong, and twice as able to harm you. That's the very definition of vulnerable. Therefore, a woman's considerations during sex are different than a man's. It requires far more of a level of trust and security than a man does. As a man, I worry about a number of things. If I'm alone with a female, being strangled to death, except for two of them brothers, is not one of them. I'm not worried that I made sure she has no weapons on her and that she's going to do something to me with her bare hands, that's how vulnerable I am. That's not something a man has to think about. That's something a female has to think about every single time. Or at the very least, that if she decides that this encounter is not going to the way she would like it to, then she can say, I'm not liking what you're doing here, P. Diddy. Let me go ahead and leave. And then he grabs your wrist. Where do you think you're going? Mm. Now, you see, that situation goes markedly different for a woman than it does for a man. So a woman cannot open herself up, throw her legs open, and anybody and everybody do that, and her mental and emotional state stay intact. Every time that she has to have this mental, emotional letting down of her guard, that speaks to her value. Because here comes the last issue. Does sex have value with a woman?
Taking a long time to answer.
I'm asking you, Connie, does having sex with a woman have value? Say that sexual contact for a female is extremely valuable and extremely important. Then can it be extremely important to 20 men?
It should be. I don't know.
No, ma'am. No. I'm saying that if a woman throws her legs open to a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen men, you just said that sex is very valuable and very important when it comes to a female. Having sex with her is very important. It's not something trivial. Great. So in other words, if a chick done had 1 dude every year, the sexual contact was important with all of them. Every year she has a new dude, and it has the same value of importance with all of them.
Well, Jason, I want to say it should, but
how is that possible? How is that possible?
Because the women actually take a playbook from a man.
Okay, but no, man, that's different.
Able to tune that part out.
Okay, but that's the problem. No, ma'am, no. Sex cannot be the same for women and men because men and women are different. I've already explained what those differences are. You claim you're getting married soon. Although with the way you're talking right now, it's like, when I told you before, I'm skeptical of that. This is what I mean. She says she's getting married soon, and yet the man who, I'm assuming it's a man, is it a man who wants to marry you?
Definitely.
Okay. I'm assuming it's a man. By the way, would you tell him that I've had sex with, I'm 50 years old. I've had sex with a different man every year for the last decade, but the sex is really important with you. It wasn't very important with those other 10, 12 dudes. But now that you want to marry me, sex with me is important when you're doing it. Now, it wasn't important with those other dozen men over the last decade, but with you, your sex with me is important. When you have sex with me, trust me, it's 90% important now that it's you. With the other 12, the importance was 10%. But when you have sex with me, just remember, it has 90% importance to me now.
Family, let me talk to y'all for 1 second. If you notice, think about every neighborhood whore that you can think about, right? Wasn't she unstable? Just think about what I'm saying. Whenever a woman have a lot of partners, that woman is schizo. She suffer from psychosis. She talk off the wall stuff. She's entitled. She's loudmouth most of the time. She's belligerent most of the time. She's cantankerous. She's uncouth. She's brash, amongst other things. Now, you can take a guy that have had sex with a lot of women, and the only way that you can tell is by the way that he comport himself, his swag. Now, I'm not saying it's right for a man to sleep with 100 women or 200 women, 300 women. I'm not saying that, but it don't do us in the same manner. Is my whole point. And she said earlier, well, they just took a playbook from the men. You can't take no playbook from the man because it's gonna ruin you. Literally, from the rooter to the tutor. You're gonna be ruined if you try to operate in the same capacity as a man. You might as well forget that. Forget about it. I'm telling you right now. You can't do as men. So stop trying to equate yourself to a man. Because it's not the same. It's not equal. It's not tantamount. Forget it. And anybody that tell you so, they a stone-faced bald liar like Jada. Bald head lie. That's a lie. Don't take advice from people that would tell you that, well, girl, just live your life. Hot girl something. Okay, well, just go ahead. And we're going to see how that panned out in the end. And we all know how it panned out because we done read the last chapter, so we know what's going on. We done seen this book before. We done seen this movie before. We done seen this before. But if that's the way you want to operate, go ahead and have at it. See, but when wisdom talk, you should take heed and listen because it would behoove you. It would be in your best interest, right? But some people just think that they just have the golden key and they just know more. And y'all don't know what you talking about. Okay, well, when the feces hit the fan, don't come back boo-hooing and hollering and gnashing the teeth and sackcloth and ashes. Now, don't come back, yeah? Oh, God. These men are no good. And I'm going to just be sitting back. And I'm the type of person that say, I told you so. I'm not going to smear it on you, but I will let you know. Didn't we try to tell you? Didn't I try to tell you this? Now, maybe next time that you will listen. Because I don't have a dog in the fight, okay? I'm just trying to give you some good information, something that will help you along the way in this thing called life. Guys, tell me what you think about it. Shout out to TBA, guys, and go check out this video. The link will be down in the description box below. But shout out to TBA, all right? Hit that subscribe button. Come on back to see me, guys. I know you ain't seen me in about 3 or 4 days, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do in order to get where you need to be. You understand? All right, until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.